Hey, what's going on? My name is Trogdor and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I have the ever awaited, so much anticipation, everything exciting, the very first week of the PTL, Pokemon Tri-League Week 1. Like I said in my team builder, which, by the way, if you didn't go check it out, go look at my team builder, you'll see why I brought the 6 that I did. In my team builder, I said I'm going up probably our toughest opponent of the entire season. D-Train, the defending champion, Big Cheese, all that jazz. So he's got a super spooky team that I went over as well. So real quick, I'm going to look at what he brought. First thing that stands out is dual weather. He's got Tyranitar and Politoed. He's also got a lot of the things that I was expecting for a non-weather team. Namely Tapu Bulu, Thunderous, but they do so well in literally any kind of team. So his team is really scary, really stacked, but I think we're very well prepared for it. The only thing, like I mentioned in my team builder, is Thunderous is really scary, so I got to be really careful around that. But I'm prepared for the rain, I'm prepared for the sand, and yeah, I'm definitely 100% going to lead with my Galvantula and see what he goes from there. I can get up my webs, and he does not have his webs, so I'm not going to deal with any of that. Just going to go for my webs, see what happens from there. So let's get the battle started right now. So I am being challenged by Pokemon Trainer David. This is going to be an interesting battle. So he goes for Lex Luthor, which I believe is his, yeah, there it is, Tyranitar. As like I said, I go for my Galvantula. The plan is to go for Sticky Webs right away. So he can either get up rocks or go for Stone Edge, but I'm going to live because I've got my Focus Sash. But more than likely, he's going to be going for rocks right here. That's the smart play, after all, since my webs are super obvious. And there he goes, Stealth Rock. I don't have removal on my team, but that's okay. The only thing taking a ton of damage is Braviary, because I don't have any leftovers on that, but I do in fact have Roost. So I go for Bug Buzz. It does a huge chunk of damage, 50%, and I get the Spidef drop. So if I manage to live, then I'm gonna probably KO it, and takes me down really low, and I go down to Sandstorm, which in hindsight my sash would have meant nothing, so he could have gone for the Stone Edge and just been done with me. So I go into the Juggernaut because I'm obviously going to be doing close combat, and he needs to get out of town right now. So he goes for Toxicroak right here, and I'm thinking now, wish I had Earthquake. Wish I didn't take that off at the very last minute because, well, my move said it still makes sense. So I go for my close combat. That did, let me just say, the amount of damage that close combat did was so surprising. That was ridiculously low. I had to go into calc that, and I was like, what kind of Toxicroak is that? It's a fully Fizz-Def Toxicroak for close combat to do such little damage. So with my defenses dropping, I'm really, like, there's no way I can KO this right now. Even if I had Earthquake, that probably wouldn't do enough damage. So he knows that I have to get out of town real quick because I'm not living anything that he goes for right now. So yeah, that's an interesting answer to Terrakion right there, Toxicroak. But yeah, so I'm going to have to hopefully hit it with a Brave Bird. I've also got Torterra with Earthquake, and yeah, that's a really smart set on there on my opponent's part. So lots of Sandstorm damage, lots of residual healing and stuff going on. That is, of course, the Black Sludge happening there. So I get out of town with Terrakion because I'm not touching that. So I go right into my Torterra because, like I said, I do have the Earthquake, and I'm interested to see what my opponent would go for. He goes for the Toxic, which, okay, that's cool. I do have leftovers on this, and I opted not to bring Synthesis, and the Sandstorm's not hitting me at all. So he gets hit with Sandstorm as I, recover my health and Toxic and all that residual stuff that takes forever on Wi-Fi battles. Forever. Still going on. So right now I'm probably forcing a switch so I can go for my rocks safely for free, because that would be super nice to have. It'll limit Thunderous's amount of switches and all that jazz. So Yeah, Tapu Bulu comes in, speed goes down, so it's not outspeeding anything at all. And look at that, Grassy Surge, even more things to take up precious time in between battle turns and moves. So yeah, I get up my rocks, and not really sure what Tapu Bulu can do to me right here, because I'm immune to Leech Seed, and I guess Wood Hammer would do a fair amount of damage in the grassy terrain, which I actually calculated. My Wood Hammer is the most damage I can do to that Tapu Bulu, just because of it resisting like Edgequake and all that. So I can go into Salazzle. Goes for a sub, which is an interesting play, so that's probably like some kind of sub seed set on Bulu's part, but I don't see any leftovers on that, so this set is a little bit interesting to me. But yeah, still way too early to tell. I obviously have my Sludge Wave right here, so I can break that sub and 1,000 other substitutes forever. But I'm interesting that he stays in on that, you know, even though he's behind a sub. It's kind of obvious what I was going to go for anyway, and he had the Excadrill to, you know, take the Sludge Wave. But he right here goes for the Z move, and I'm thinking, what can you do to literally touch me at all? And I, of course, don't know what the Z animations or anything, but that's the Black Hole Eclipse. So I'm thinking it's like, why would you even bother with that? And then I'm thinking, oh, that's right. I had Aegislash on my team, which probably it was my best answer to a Tapu Bulu, but that doesn't even KO my Salazzle. Obviously would have KO'd an Aegislash if I had it in, but I don't have it on my team, so yeah, I guess that's the only thing it could really hit my Salazzle. So my Sludge Wave is super obvious once again, so I think I go for another substitute right here to later go for a Toxic for something. But yeah, maybe he's just going for Sand again right here, but yeah, there's I think Excadrill is a better switch for, you know, to be immune to my Sludge Wave and all that. But yeah, just go for the sub here. Tyranitar, I guess, makes sense. It can eat up any hits because it's super Spadef in the sand and all that. But right here, I'm getting pretty low. Even with the grassy terrain and the black sludge, the sand is going to be, you know, doing its thing and just whittling me down. So I go for Toxic, limit Tyranitar's amount of life, even though smart play would have been to get a couple Sludge Waves off, even though Overheat is doing more damage, but, you know, 2 of them wouldn't have done not quite enough. So I don't think I can 1v1 this, so I just, you know, went for the Toxic to limit what it can do. So unfortunate to see Salazzle get kind of limited here. It didn't exactly do its job versus Tapu Bulu, but it would have just been nice to have around because it outspeeds everything. Well, namely, it outspeeds what can't get caught in the sticky web, because with the web, basically my entire team outspeeds everything. And look, remember that time that I could hit Fire Blasts, and I didn't right there? Not Fire Blast, Overheat. So in the grand scheme of things, doesn't matter, just kind of annoying, because it would have been a little bit more damage on Tyranitar, probably would have gone down after another turn of Toxic, so I wouldn't have to think so hard about this play, and then it wouldn't get a chance to get Sandstorm up again in the future if he wanted to. But again, grand scheme of things, doesn't really matter. So he's able to save Tyranitar for one more use of Sandstorm. So it's the Grass Boys up again, and it's going to be one of those things where it's like Grassy Surge, leftovers, Toxic, Grassy Surge, leftovers, Toxic. It's, yeah, Wi-Fi takes forever for this kind of thing. So Earthquake does like nothing to Tapu Bulu, unfortunately. And like I said, I calculated earlier, Wood Hammer is actually doing the most amount of damage. So if I go for like 2 Wood Hammers and live one of Tapu Bulu's Wood Hammer between those and the recoil, I can probably 1v1 it, but in the long run also be really worn down by Toxic. But honestly, it's like, I'm just thinking Torterra's not doing much this game. He doesn't really seem to want to get rid of those rocks too bad. He went for Leech Seed, probably predicting my switch, because, you know, there's not a lot that I can do. But like I was explaining, there's not a lot I need my Torterra for, so I might as well just get a ton of damage on Tapu Bulu since I don't have my dedicated answer to it in Salazzle. And down the line, I don't really want Braviary taking too much recoil, because I will need it for the Toxicroak most likely. So I was hoping that right here he would go for a Woodhammer to KO himself with recoil, but instead it's a Horn Leech. So it's going to take even longer to get Bulu down. Maybe after one more Woodhammer of my own, but it's looking like I'm not going to win this 1v1. Which is okay, I guess, but yeah, I guess it could bring Horn Leech versus Woodhammer. When I had Tapu Bulu and NSTL, that's kind of what I prefer to do, just to preserve longevity and all that, but yeah, so you get it really close to going down, but not quite. He barely recovers anything with the Horn Leech, but yeah, Torterra goes down, unfortunately, but like I said, wasn't doing much for me. So I believe now I am down 3-6 at the moment. Just want to double check there when I see the Pokeballs come back up on the screen. But yeah, I'm down 3-6, but I've got Air Force 1, which is awesome because he has no switches for this. Any move would have taken out that Tapu Bulu. So I go for the Frustration, not the Brave Bird because I don't want to rack up too much recoil. So right here I'm thinking, was I bluffing the Scarf from his point of view? Because I'm pretty sure I took Life Orb damage. So the switch to Tyranitar doesn't make a lot of sense, in my opinion. Because I do have the superpower, unless it was to get that one last round of Sand Up. Because now that Tyranitar is gone, Excadrill can come right in. So Braviary coming through with 2 kills. That's awesome. America Bird is heavily underrated, and it's one of my favorite things to use this season so far, putting in the work. Because like I said, he had no switches for it. But unfortunately now I don't really have a switch for this Excadrill. Even after the Sticky Web, it's still at like +1 speed, so yeah. I'm hoping now is my best opportunity to go for my Terrakion shenanigans, thinking like he's obviously not going to go for an Earthquake, but I forgot about Iron Head. Me, an intellectual, forgot that Excadrill got Iron Head. So Slowbro would have obviously been the better switch. I could have, like, you know, been fat and gotten Scald and stuff, and maybe taken Excadrill down. It's probably packing the X-Scissor for my Slowbro, but I could have saved Terrakion so easily, just stalled out the sand with Slowbro, hit it with a Scald or two, probably not get the burn, but yeah, because all Slowbro really needs to do for the rest of this game is take on the Excadrill, because Politoed, like, you know, I'm not so worried about that, and I go for a Calm Mind here, just hoping maybe you don't have X-Scissor. The Swords Dance might just be to get as much damage as you can with the Iron Head, and Sandstorm's still going on. I, at one point, completely miscounted the turns. I thought it's like, oh, it's going to go away now. So +2 X-Scissor does a lot of damage. I probably should have just gone for the Scald first when he went for the Swords Dance, but yeah, I thought the Calm Mind might be better in the long run, just in case he didn't have the coverage, which, why would he not have that coverage? So, Slowbro not looking so great, and Thundurus doesn't get hit with the Sticky Webs, and all I've got left is Slowbro and Braviary, which, as we explained earlier, I'm definitely not Scarfed, so unless there's, by some miracle, no, there's nothing saving me now. Because all I've got left is Braviary, a full speed Thundurus. Like, even the rocks damage, it's just not happening. So unfortunately, Thundurus is able to take me out. He still had Politoed and Toxicroak in his back pocket, which I didn't have a lot to deal with, unfortunately. So yeah, it just wasn't quite in our favor there. Made a couple questionable plays, but in the end, my opponent was just much better prepped for this than I was, and I kind of made a misplay with Terrakion and earlier with like being too reckless with Torterra and all that. But anyway, good game to my opponent. You definitely deserved that win, and good luck to you in the rest of the season. My next opponent is, wow, good job. Okay, my next opponent is Cameron in the Hershey Beware, who, as you may recall, in NSTL beat me kind of handily, so we are going to be coming back guns a-blazing with a vengeance on that game. So stay tuned for my week 2. If you enjoyed this video, toss a like. If you want to stay up to date with my content, hit a subscribe button and comment down below what you thought of this battle and the season so far. Because yeah, so far it's a lot of fun. Go check out all the other coaches in the description, and D1 and hopefully D2 and 3 if we get that list and all that. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this battle, and I will see you guys in the second week of the PTL. So that's all I've got for now. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.